Hello, YouTube family. It's me, Schlatt, and today we're taking a look at all my PC setups from like over a decade ago all the way to now. I've always been very proud of my PC setups, and so I have all of the photos here. We're gonna look at every single setup I've ever had and talk about it, reflect on it, and have some fun. So let's get started, shall we? I've got my gamer subs ready. Zero sugar cans now. Gamersubs.gg/Schlatt. Code Schlatt, 10% off. All right, here we go. This is the first one, 2015 and prior. Now, I don't know if you know this about me, but I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. And so that meant getting an elite gaming recording setup was always more important to me than actually having like a killer PC. Because I just edit my videos on my laptop. So making sure I could record was the first priority. Here's my just a camera that was in the family, I think. I might have gotten this off of an uncle or something. Put it on the shittiest tripod I could dig up, and I pointed it right at the flat screen TV. It was dead simple. It looked like shit, but that's what you gotta do, man. You work with what you got, and this was all I fucking had. So yeah, this is how I recorded my first few videos on, hacking Mario Kart, that kind of stuff. The setup's improved gradually, let's just say. Yeah, about halfway into 2015 is when my production level started getting a little epic. So here was the laptop I always recorded on, and this was my setup at this point. This was all of my buddies had finally gotten an Xbox One, which is funny to even think about that I ever used this to record, but that's true. I had this hooked up into my laptop. My laptop would record, and my big Acer monitor, this would be the gameplay. We'd be playing Grand Theft Auto 5. That's really it, actually. Minecraft, maybe, I guess. I don't know. And as much as I didn't want to have a Kinect, you needed the Kinect because that's the way you could get Xbox Party Chat to play through the speakers. So that way is the only way I could capture any of my friends' audio on the laptop. You always have to jump through a lot of hoops when you're trying to record. Just some weird jank is always present, as it is today. And the keyboard, oh shit, I think that might be a Poker 3 mechanical keyboard. 60% all small. I used to take that into school and place it on top of my laptop and then just type away, and everyone would get pissed off at me. I was one of those kids. Next up, August 2015. I shuffled things around a little bit. You see what I did? You'll notice this is the same desk that I always had. This was just one of those things that I couldn't say goodbye to. It just worked too well for my needs, you know? This was IKEA Malm desk, I think. And yeah, just, shifting everything around. A couple months change, got the Kinect still, Xbox, all that. And for whatever reason, I decided to place my iPod dock on there, probably just to fill out the space. I don't think I ever actually used that. There was no music on this iPod. I only used to play Angry Birds on that and watch porn. Hold on, boys. Before we keep going, please allow me to fulfill a contractual obligation. Today's video is sponsored by Chime, baby, the #1 most loved banking app. And they're offering you up to a $350 sign-up bonus. If you already have a savings account, it probably sucks. I used to think that earning pennies on my savings was just normal. But then I actually did the math and realized I was leaving hundreds of dollars on the table every year. And Chime's high-yield savings account fixed that. The average savings rate is like 0.4%. It's even worse with big banks. It's basically your money just sitting there collecting dust. Meanwhile, with Chime's high-yield savings account, you get up to a staggering 3.5% APY. That's over 8 times the average, people. For example, if I had $10,000 at a 0.4% APY, the total would amount to just $40 after a year of savings. At 3.5% APY, that would have been a whole $350. I could have gotten this thing. That's this thing, people. I spent a lot of money on useless gadgets from the 90s. That's this. No additional work at all, just the interest. And with Chime, there's no monthly fees or minimum balance requirements. Instead, your money is actually just making you money. And Chime isn't just savings. They've got a whole suite of products to help you bank smarter, like getting paid up to 2 days early, building credit safely, all that good stuff. Set up direct deposit to unlock everything. And to top it all off, right now, you can get a bonus of up to $350 with a new Chime account through my link. The new year is right around the corner, fellas, so take this as a sign to get in on the 3.5% APY and cash in on the sign-up bonus. You get started today in just a few minutes by clicking my link in the description or scanning the QR code on screen. Make sure you go through my link for the bonus, and thanks again to Chime for sponsoring today's video. Enjoy. Boom, baby. December 2015, the big leagues. Black Ops 3 in full swing, the last good Call of Duty game. And this is where I actually had a setup on my desk. I had my uncle's Mac Pro that he gifted me a while ago. That thing was old. It was ancient. It required a lot of work to even get functioning, but it was great. It served my needs well. Here we go. The Blue Snowball, too, making an appearance. My God. I didn't get a Yeti or any of the other Blue microphones. It was always the Snowball. I'm not sure why. Still don't know to this day. All right, here we go. Into 2016. This is when I started taking YouTube seriously. And yeah, we finally have a Windows PC, it looks like, with my Steinberg UR12 that I used all the way up until 2019 when the Go XLR was getting big. Still had my Blue Snowball on standby back there. And my headphones. Dude, these were the Audio-Technica BPHS1. It was a broadcast mic. Totally useless to have a microphone on it. It's used for like football, like sportscasters usually. The only reason I had this is because CNanners used it back in the day. I just wanted what he had. I think that's really it. Moving along. Here's a picture I took in December of 2016. I was starting to get into mechanical keyboards a little bit. I wound up getting this big Unicomp monster. Basically, this is a company that bought all of the old manufacturing equipment to make those buckling spring, like classic, like Thaki, like basically the holy grail of mechanical keyboard users, even though they don't want to admit it because it's old. And no, man, I use lubed banana splits now. What are you talking about? No. So this was my introduction. I had the Unicomp 122, and then this was some Amazon one, probably a SteelSeries Quickfire something. And there's my Poker 3 with a blank key set on it. And I never should have put blank keycaps on this. Still have no idea where the fucking keys are. March 2017, I moved downstairs into the mommy's basement, and I had this very nice, clean setup with my bearded dragon in there. Back when he was still alive, dude. Damn. When was this? March 2017. He died maybe a month or two after this. What a guy. Here, this is a better look at it. Still very clean. Still the old IKEA mom desk. This was the first PC I built back in 2016. Still was rocking the Blue Snowball, even though it was time for an upgrade by then. Yeah. Boom. June 2019. This is when it started. So obviously I was a video editor previous to 2019. I would mostly make videos. And after 2019, I would mostly stream. You'll notice the monitor on the left side got flipped vertical. You know why? Because you could better read information. So I had all these feeds. I had my chat, I had Discord, I had, my stream alerts, everything on there. And it worked so much better than having a horizontally mounted monitor. And to this day, I still run this setup and prefer it over two horizontal ones. Also, look at this. Old school Stream Deck right there. Velcro taped onto the keyboard because the keyboard had a huge open space right here. I don't know if you remember. Huge open space right here. And it was just the perfect setup. I put some Velcro straps on it and it fit right on there. And that was, honestly, this looked fucking sick. You can't tell me this doesn't look sick. New to this setup is the Hale PR40, which I bought and have not touched ever since. Same microphone. A lot of terrible things have been said into this fucking thing. And the open sign. Big ol' open sign. Why not? Oh, and when you lift one, make it a Popst. You gotta make it a Popst. Old advertising memorabilia is one of my favorite kind of vibes for decorating a place. What happened after this? Oh, right, the Go XLR introduced a lot more trouble. Because I had to have the Go XLR somewhere where I could touch it with both hands, and my Unicomp 122 was way too big for all this, and it was also kind of loud because it's buckling spring. So I tried to get a Cherry MX Red, like Corsair RGB thing. Was not my favorite, honestly, and I moved the Stream Deck to this side. Still got the crappy kind of Logitech speakers hanging from the monitor. I actually Velcroed them onto the monitor because there wasn't any room with the Go XLR. This is largely what it remained for the rest of the time I was living in this house. I eventually moved this whole thing to the other wall, but it stayed unchanged besides for a little camera. Like, I upgraded the camera from the C920, also known as the Funny Mic. This was the final form of my 2019-2020 setup. I had upgraded to a full camera, just asked Ludwig, like, hey buddy, what camera are you using? And just bought exactly what he had because I liked how he looked. Switched back to an old buckling spring, a bit smaller than the 122 key I had, but still Unicomp, still amazing. The Hale still going on. You'll notice there's a little paper up on the wall. Schlatt, what is that? Why have you printed out a little paper? Well, it was a quote by Theodore Roosevelt. It's from his speech, Citizenship in a Republic. And it reads, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." That's a fucking quote, ladies and gentlemen. And that actually kept me going through a lot of periods of uncertainty and stress around YouTube and people sharing their opinions about me that were kind of fucking crazy. And yeah, that's what it stayed like until Texas. Jeez, Texas. What a mistake. The day I moved into Texas, this was my setup. The whole state was frozen with a layer of ice. So many people died. It might have been 100 people that died during that storm that I flew in the day of. What a nice introduction to the state. I was editing an old video and I had the buckling spring on top of the Mac laptop. Holy fuck. I was burning the midnight oil here because the power went out. I didn't have power for the first 3 days I lived in Texas, maybe even longer. And this candle, I got a story to tell about this. This is the first candle I bought. I did this Target run the day I got there because I needed some essentials, some toilet paper and shit. And I wound up buying a little candle, Mandarin Hibiscus from Target. But this scent has become so nostalgic and like just reminds me of fresh new beginnings that I still burn it every now and then when I want to reminisce or feel, excited about something. Fun fact. And eventually, I settled into Texas. This is maybe a couple weeks later. This is all February 2021, by the way. I got Jambo in March, I believe, baby little Jambo, and he made himself right at home. I would basically be glued to this computer all day, every day, and he would be glued to me. Oh, dude, what a guy. And this is what this setup looked like. This was May 2021. I have no idea why I was fixated on this image of a fucking dog in front of Mount Everest or wherever it is. This is my desktop wallpaper.
Thank you, Schlatt.
I don't entirely know why I decided to make this my desktop photo. It's not my dog. Here is a formal photo of what everything fucking looked like back around middle of 2021. I used one of my precious outlet spots to put a heating pad for Jambo, and he never left that spot. It was so cool. So fun having him around. Moving on. 2021 was a crazy year for me. I moved around a lot, and this is just one of the places. This was the apartment that I lived in for 3 months. 3 whole months. This is about a month before Jambo ate all those magnets. Oh, yeah, dude. This was not my recording setup, merely the one I had at home, because I had moved into the OTK office and was basically doing all my work out of there. So this was like my gaming PC. Boom. Here's my OTK setup, October 2021. Had a couple different things happen in this era. This light was just left behind in the house I inherited, and so I just started pointing it against the wall for a little extra light, and I got a little monitor on the right for Discord and Spotify only, which is always good to have a static thing for the apps you use most. I was starting to miss having a little more real estate on this one especially, and you'll see how I fix that problem in a little bit. But yeah, this is a funny keyboard I had for a little bit that shows all the keybinds for Premiere Pro. So if you want to like learn all the shortcuts and stuff to edit faster, which I wanted to at the time, I used that, but it felt terrible typing on it. Here's my monkey statue behind the empty bottles of water and Mountain Dew. And there it was. Oh yeah, baby. This is when I lived at S-Fan's house. This is the gaming setup I had up there. Again, no editing happened here, but I just wanted a place to, kick back, relax. And here's how I did it. So I had probably a 32-inch here, and then a small, probably 21. 21? Oh, dude, this was another one. This is where I lived. I had a bed in another room, but I'd spend most of my time in this setup. This was the most comfortable fucking couch ever. And now the group chat boys have it. So please, next time you see one of their videos, ask them how the couch is doing. I really need to know who's got this couch so I can steal it back from them. Holy fuck, this couch was amazing. Moving along into 2022. This is when I got my own place. I was living here with Connor and I got a custom artesian build. Remember that company? That's funny, right? Custom artesian build that was like covered in fur and supposed to be like my Rammy mascot. It looks kind of dopey, but I actually really did like how it looked. This was more of my gaming setup for a while in this house until Jambo got sick. Again, that motherfucker ate some more magnets. What are you gonna do? So I had to keep a 24-hour eye on him and wound up needing to move my camera in and start actually recording here. So that's how the Go XLR ended up here for a bit with the camera and all that. Jambo absolutely loved the artesian build. It would blow out air right on the top, and he suffocated the fuck out of that thing. I don't even know how it continued to work because he would sit on the entire airflow of the whole machine. But he loved it. It was so warm. He didn't even use the heating pad. The heating pad was right there, by the way. And you'll notice that I wish I had a full picture of this, but I put up all my YouTube plaques in a little mosaic wall. And right here, if you can see, is a wooden engraved plaque of the man in the arena, that quote, which I still have to this day. I mean, again, like that quote is my favorite of all time, and I wanted to do right by it. This was my final setup in the OTK office. As you can see, pretty much nothing changed. I mean, I still use this Razer keyboard. I think it's called the Death Stalker, simply because it's just quiet. For the life of me, I cannot understand why I played so many hours of Minecraft with a buckling spring keyboard, because you could hear every single press so fucking loudly. But hey, you know, I was stalwart back then. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I needed. But hey, look, we got the titty milk. The titty milk dropped, baby. Oh man, that's made me so much money. You guys should buy some. Gamersubs.gg/Schlatt. And boom, read 'em and weep, baby. This was the final place I lived at in Texas. The final PC setup. I mean, just wow. The Starforge PC, my PC building company, out in full force here. Oh my goodness. And I got a third monitor, finally. Upgraded to a proper third, just had the screens on both ends. This wallpaper, my favorite wallpaper of all time. It's a painting. I don't know his name, but the painting is Dresden by Moonlight. Since I found that photo, it's basically followed me on every single monitor. Still one of my best looking setups by far. I had the Logitech speakers still on either side. Little digital clock here, a little charm that a fan sent me on the microphone. Still have all of these things. This little clay figure of me and my Rammy and Jambo with the Pope hat, so cute. And yes, somehow throughout all its iterations, the Logitech C920 still finds a way to weasel its way into this setup. So yeah, after this guy, I wound up moving back to New York, and I had a stint. Well, I bought a Mac, and I wanted to do all my editing on the Mac because the processors on there were very good for that kind of thing. And so I had a little alcove in my living room where I had a little Mac set up, and I had the studio display mounted to the wall, and I had an iPad Pro on the side. That was like, you know, I had to run some crazy software just to get the screen working. Not worth it. Got all my fucking performative, like the opposite of performative male books here. Laws of Power, Split the Pie, David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, Never Split the Difference. Jesus. What was I thinking back then? I recently started reading fiction again for like the first time in 15 years. I've been having a blast. Been reading Red Rising. The Mac eventually moved into this room that I'm in. It was set up right on this wall, which was so vibey. I think this is one of my best looking setups by far. The monitor mount with all my little sumo clay figures. Oh, a nice little old school vintagey looking lamp with the books propping up the Kanto USB speakers. Oh my goodness. But it was not for long before I realized I don't really need a Mac. Took this whole setup apart and started using it instead for my video high 8 editing setup. So I'll show you that. This is how my high 8 editing setup started. I used a media cabinet. It was the worst possible use of this thing, but I just needed a place to put all this shit. Because look at it. 1,000 pounds worth of 30-year-old equipment that's breaking and falling apart. What a nightmare it is to work on all these machines. But eventually, a month or two ago, I got them into an actual proper server rack, and I have a fucking FNAF-esque setup here with all the 4 different monitors with different previews. Like I have my title generator in this monitor. I have my color correction preview in this monitor. I have my player deck here and my recorder deck here. And that's all just sitting right here now. And you can see my guys right there. I've been having a ton of fun editing this shit. I should make a more in-depth video showing you about all the different things I have because I am very passionate about it. And here is the setup I am currently on. As we can see, the Dresden by Moonlight is still rocking. I love this fucking wallpaper. I don't think it'll ever change. And look, a square monitor. No longer am I rocking the 2 vertical ones on either side. Boom. LG Dual Up. I don't know if they even still make this monitor, but it has fulfilled all of my wildest dreams. God, the real estate you can do a lot with that thing. The Go XLR is still running my audio setup somehow 6 years later. It's actually kind of incredible that it still works. Still have the same mic arm, still rocking the Hale PR40 with a couple of minor improvements now. Big mouse pad, 2 big stream decks for doing OBS and emoting in DayZ and stuff. A little charger for my AirPods and my phone. My Sumo guy's still nearby. A mess of wires under here that I intend to fill with something else at some point. But for now, it is just empty space. My speakers, laptop, and then there's the Hi 8 setup. And dude, I can't believe I still have this fucking monkey. You guys remember this monkey from like 6 years ago? Somehow I still have it. I don't know how it's followed me throughout all these years. I haven't bought another one. But yeah, it manages to still exist and thrive. But yeah, this is what we're working with now. Have some defunct gear that, followed me throughout the years. This was the monitor. I don't know if you guys remember. This was the old school monitor I had back in the old days in that really long room in the basement. And just some non-functional decks here that I bought on eBay. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, and that's what we've had throughout the years. I don't know why I made this video. I think I was just scrolling through my old photos, and I think I would like to look back on them. So I hope you enjoyed. We should do another submission where you guys send in your PC setups, and then I can rank them again. See, that's the content I should be making, not this bullshit. Send me in your computer setups, boys. Link below. Thanks for watching. I will see you again soon. Bye for now.